And here now is Republican Senator Chuck Grassley from Iowa. He is on the Joint Committee on Taxation. Getting very exciting, isn't it, Senator?
From this standpoint, not only is this bill good for the economy, but it finally shows that Republicans can work together and get something done after we failed on other things earlier this year.
Yeah. Now, even without Senator McCain, and of course we all wish him the best, but he is not going to be here for the vote. But even without him, can you guarantee you have enough votes to pass the tax bill?
I think we would know from people like you if we didn't have. So let's say there's 51 Republicans now with McCain gone. You could lose 2 and still win 49 to 48. So I don't think there's any doubt. If your question is, are we going to get a bill to the President of the United States with the biggest tax cuts in the history of the country and tax simplification for the first time in 30 years, the answer is yes. He'll be signing a bill before the end of the week.
Now, Senator, I'm for any tax cut. I think the more we starve the beast, the better. But to say it's the biggest tax cut in history, I remember the Reagan tax cuts. I mean, they were tremendous. And they also simplified the number of brackets from, I think, 11 down to 3. You have the same number of brackets. Can you really say it's more simplified than what Reagan did?
I will give you my definition of simplification. It's increasing the standard deduction from $12,000 to $24,000. So as a result, instead of having 35% of the people make out the long form, you're probably only going to have 10 to 15% of the people making out the long form. So for those extra 20% of the people plus the 65 that make the short form anyway, there's a great deal of tax simplification.
Now,
yes.
If it passes in the House and the Senate and the President signs it this week, he says, and I'm sure you heard him talk about, the Americans will see it in their paychecks by February. The Senate plan that first passed in the House and it went to the Senate wanted to delay the corporate side until 2019. I guess the delayers lost. Am I right in that? Because otherwise you wouldn't get a bigger paycheck in February.
Well, first of all, I think you got to be talking about the individual workers, deal with the individual income tax, and you just asked me a question about
that's true. I was mixing things. But is any of it going to be delayed?
That's entirely up to the IRS. If they can get everything so that the employers on the first paycheck in February can do the proper withholding, they should see benefits in their paycheck. First paycheck February.
Senator, I want to switch gears, if I may, because there is something that you have been investigating as diligently as anybody in the Senate, and that's what happened at the Justice Department with Fusion GPS, the organization that was hired by the Democratic National Committee that manufactured the infamous Trump dossier. Bruce Orr, a guy at Justice Department, very high up at Justice, was meeting with Fusion GPS officials, and his wife worked for Fusion GPS. He was supposed to give testimony behind closed doors to a Senate committee today. He didn't. Do you know why not?
I do not, but it was not my committee, or I would know why not. It was the Intelligence Committee of one of the houses, and I don't have an answer. I'm sorry, I can't tell you, but I'm very interested in that. As you said, we started an investigation way back way earlier this year when we got wind of the fact that the Steele thing and Fusion GPS was involved, and there was possible Democratic Party involvement in it and Hillary Clinton involvement in it. That's why we got involved in it very early.
Well, now we know for a fact that the DNC and the Hillary campaign paid, in part at least, millions of dollars for that Trump dossier. What we don't know is whether the FBI or anybody at Justice, whether it was Bruce Orr or this guy Patrick Strzok, Strzok, who was with the FBI, who we heard a lot about last week, whether they paid for it. Do we have any more information about whether anybody at Justice or the FBI helped pay for the Trump dossier?
I think in classified information there's some evidence of some, but I have not been privy to that. But here's where I think we have to be real certain what we are talking about. the president has the right to declassify. And all of this tends to be raising questions about whether or not he was involved in with Russia and his campaign. The president could declassify this stuff, and we would know for sure exactly what the situation is.
Do you really want him to do that? Any response from the White House, quickly?
I have talked to the White House maybe 6 weeks ago on this subject. I'm not going to tell you who I talked to, but I raised the possibility of why. It seems so simple. There's all these questions out there. Yeah. Why not get the questions answered? Why not have more transparency? Because transparency brings about accountability.
Americans
and that's
want
what we
answers.
aren't having.
Absolutely. Senator Grassley, thank you for looking into this. We all thank you for that. I appreciate you coming on today.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye-bye.